I told you I'd be back. Hello everybody, once again I'm John O'Connor, your bardic storyteller, and today we're going to be talking about Damn Good D&D. And for me this is the second time doing it because I've already recorded a video, but there was no audio because I had it set on the wrong setting. So, here's hoping this one turns out good. But before we get started in that, I didn't expect to be gone for 4 months. Sorry about that. What happened was that my professional life took more of a turn for responsibility than I had expected it to, and my social life also took an unexpected upturn, with me being able to hang out with my best friend on a more regular basis and also being able to see my girlfriend on a more regular basis. So with those two things, it kind of became professional life, social life, gaming, role-playing, and trying to find time to do videos. I've had a lot of false starts. A lot of times I thought I was going to be coming back and doing stuff, but I finally made a commitment by leaving a comment on Jeremiah McCoy's page. If you're not watching his videos, check them out. They're really enjoyable. And then by doing the Brigade Day video with the standard laptop video camera, which is horrible. But in an effort to make sure that I come back on a more regular basis, I intend to monetize my account. Now, I know there's a lot of people in the Brigade who don't. I also know there's a lot who do. But for me, this is more of a personal decision to feel a little bit more obligated to make videos, so I can always be a part of the conversation and also enjoy your feedback. Now, if this business model doesn't work, if you guys stop watching my channel because of it, it'll go away. You know, that's just basic economics there. If you guys aren't enjoying what I'm doing, I'm going to stop doing it, and I'm going to trace it back to this decision and get rid of it. But I'm hoping that you guys will support me, watch the videos, and suffer through that little 5-second clip. We'll see. So, Damn Good D&D. What I had intended to do was have a 10-week campaign, which I did. It was 10 weeks of gaming. Unfortunately, it was spread out a little bit more than 10 weeks just because of delays, false starts, bad weather, family obligations, and things of that nature. But, all in all, I had a great time. We were playing, once again, with the map maker, Jonathan Mueller, the host, Nicole Kith Miller, and Carly Lyric, the girl who can cry on command. So, how was it? How did it turn out? There was pros and cons. Going in a non-narrative direction with a lot of more randomness actually saved me a lot of time. It also helped me because 4 weeks before we started the campaign, I just planned a lot of things out. So it was a lot easier to give players decisions when I'd already worked out the bones of things that they were going to do. But I always made sure it was their decision to do it. The irritation came a little bit early on when one of the random encounters was the opportunity to meet a higher level bounty who I intended for them to run away, I guess, at that current stage if they had gotten that one, and they didn't. They stood and fought him, and one of the problems is that I gave him a really nice magical item. I'd given him a meta magic wand of maximized lower level spells. And after they defeated him, we had a caster in the group who got to keep that item. So that was, you know, things weren't as hard for them after that as far as bounties. The other thing I noticed with the bounties are they had wanted dead, wanted alive, or wanted dead or alive. My group always tended to go for the wanted dead or wanted dead or alive. They never really bothered with the wanted alive. And those ones were actually going to be, some of them were going to be interesting challenges that were non-combative. Like some of the thieves, they would have to have made a series of spot and search checks. There was actually a character who was, I want to say, level 15, who was an NPC class of expert, and his main focuses were his profession with moonshining and his hide. He'd taken feats to improve his hide. He'd also gotten a magical item to make him damn near invisible. But he wasn't invisible. If he was moving too fast, they'd catch him. If he made too much sound, they would have caught him. These are challenges that they didn't get to partake in because they chose all fighting style bounties. And as far as the big game rewards of, going out and this organization wants you to hunt down these things, those kind of happen sprinkled in between the bounties, either because they went out to go hunt for it, or because it just happened to be in a dungeon or a cave that was around when they were fighting something else. So, it was interesting, it was fun, but playing with the same group of people repeatedly has started to make me realize some things. One, my D&D style needs to change every so often, which was the idea behind doing the randomness of this. I didn't fudge any dice, I didn't make any... If the enemy rolled a 1, the enemy rolled a 1, which made some of the challenges a little bit funny because there's a creature who could potentially kill you, and I put 2 of them in this dungeon. One of them rolled a 1. Let me roll my percentiles. Oh, I rolled low on my percentiles. He's biting his buddy. It happened. And when they rolled 1s, bad things happened to them. And when 20s were rolled, I didn't fudge those either. So we had 2 character deaths. And this is where another aspect of seeing the limitations of my players kind of came in. Things that I've been trying to get them to move past. I wanted the map maker, Jonathan, to be maybe a little bit more invested in his character. He did a lot of great role playing, and he's getting better every time he gets to sit down and actually get a full night of D&D in. The issue is that as soon as his character dies, there was no question in his mind of, do I want my character to come back in the campaign? He said, no, I'll build something else. They revived his character was very grateful, and he said, but this lifestyle isn't for me, and he left. And he already had another character ready to go. It's not bad. That's not bad at all, but, because he has 57 ideas at any one given time. It's just, it ensures that he's not always going to invest as much as I'd like him to in a single character. That isn't to say I don't like his role-playing style, that isn't to say that he doesn't have characters he's loved to play in the past and ones he remembers fondly, but in the here and now, his present character is always his least favorite, because the ones he hasn't played yet haven't shown their potential. So that was fun. But then we also had the girl who can cry on command, Carly. She lost her character. Now, it takes a lot of work and effort to get Carly to, build a character, because she doesn't like building characters. And one of the reasons she doesn't like building characters is because she doesn't start from what would be fun to play, or this is a fun idea. She starts from, what was this character's childhood like? What was this character's adolescence like? Which, don't get me wrong, I have started from that aspect too, but once, I don't have as hard of a time answering those questions as she does. So it takes her a while to struggle and agonize with what kind of character's personality she's going to play, and then she builds the mechanics around it. Isn't a problem. But she invests so much time and energy into one character that when her character died, even though she knew she could resurrect it with a -1 point to her constitution, she was kind of done. She didn't want to play this campaign very much anymore because it meant that her character had died. And she has a lot of emotional investment into her characters. So this is something that I've kind of noticed. I've got, on one end of the spectrum, I've got Mueller. I need him to invest a little bit more, but I understand he has that 57 ideas he wants to get out. And then I have Carly over here, who I want her to understand it's just a game, but I recognize how much work she's put into building her one character. And then I have Nicole in the dead middle, who struggles a little bit to build her characters, but is always excited when she gets to build the new one. And on top of it, she doesn't have 57 ideas of new characters she wants to play, but she has a handful. She has other ideas of other character personalities she wants to explore and delve into, and she just hasn't been given that opportunity yet. So this was a small limitation of doing Damn Good D&D, was the players and the way they interact with their character. Now that's not to say that their DM doesn't have any faults. It was difficult for me when they'd face a boss, or boss monster, or the encounter for the night, and first set of rolls, I do okay. And I was like, okay, well, the first battle went, the first round went okay. And then the second round, I can't hit anything to save my life. So there's a lot of clinging and clanking, and they're still hitting me, but my character isn't hitting them. Then it gets even worse, and I start rolling ones, and I start having to throw my weapon, cut myself, drop the weapon, or, just miss. I made it cinematic. I made it interesting, and believe me, in that moment, it was exciting to see what I was going to get. But there was times I was like, man, I'd really like to see this guy win, and that wouldn't happen because they would kick his ass. And when the two characters died, that was unintentional too. That's one of the characters died because in melee combat, Mueller's, the thing it was fighting rolled 3 20s in one attack roll, and then was able to confirm them. That was the end of his character. While Carly's character died from a centaur sorcerer. So even though there was still hitting her touch attack wasn't that hard, but I was like, okay, here's hoping I roll low because I know I'm about to kill her. There was no animosity because I killed her character. She was upset, but it was the fact of like, look, this monster would have attacked you because you were the closest and easiest thing to hit. So she understood that part, that the story wouldn't allow me to go attack somebody else. But she was still upset. So, that was the hard part for me, is not fudging dice. Being honest to what every dice roll said. It took away some of the power that the DM gets, but it gave me a lot more excitement. So, moving forward, I'm going to keep that. It changes up my D&D style, and I think that's something that you always need to be doing, is looking at, okay, here's your current role-playing set of skills. You've gotten really good at them. Try these, or try those. Go back to something that you didn't think you liked the first time and see how you like it this time. I also, during this campaign, we went from giving EXP for narrative to giving EXP for EXP's sake again, with narrative bonuses. This again is something I'm going to keep. I'm not a big fan of doing a lot of math at the end of the night, but my players are worth it. When they earn their levels, they've earned their levels. So, that'll be something fun, and plus, even if they all fight the same monster challenge, okay, they get the division of that thing, fine, but if they took it down creatively, that's a few extra points for somebody. If they role-played better than everybody else, that's a few more points. So, it's going to be fun. The only thing that I have a trouble with is that I like charts, I like guidelines, and when it comes to they role-played better than somebody else, it always has to be a percentage of something relative to that current level, as opposed to a set number that will go from 1 to 20. Because if you role-played better than anybody else, and then at first level I gave you 120 points extra EXP, you'd be very grateful. At 20th level, you're like, the fuck is this? So, I have to work with that, and if anybody has any helpful, there we go, we'll go with helpful ideas, I'd love to hear them. But all in all, this was an amazing experience. I would recommend doing this playstyle. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, I will have a link to the original video, Damn Good D&D, and then the video that was a response to. So, I hope you guys have enjoyed this little ramble of a rant. I am back. I will be doing more content. I will be giving my advice, my ideas, my philosophies. And as always, please like, share, and subscribe. I enjoyed looking to the feedback from this video, and I'm looking forward to what the next chapter of Heartmore and Imperial is.